welcome back to Cross Stitch the Globe. This is a channel about cross stitch. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Allison.
And we are two sisters who both love cross stitching. I'm fairly new, although getting more every day, and Allison's been stitching for years and years. And this is Flosstube number 7, so welcome. If you are new, please subscribe. It really does help other people find it when you subscribe and comment and like the video. And if you're not new, welcome back.
So happy you're here.
All right, so we're gonna start with some thank yous. So I actually missed this one. So in the beginning of the video, we like to thank anybody that we have mentioned in one of our videos who actually like took the time to then come and watch our video and interact with us and then talk about us on their videos, because it's really nice, and we know we don't all have time to watch every Flosstube. So this one I actually missed it because Second Wind Stitcher had mentioned us. I think it was her last full Flosstube, and it might have been one before that, but she didn't like officially tag us. So when I watched her, I saw it, but then I forgot to write it down. And then when I was going through our tags, it wasn't there. She like, so anyway, so I missed it, but she said some really sweet things, including like that she said it's funny because we're sisters, but one of us is more frugal than the other, and there's like some tension there. And
I did watch that.
Although my haul is like way down, you guys would be so proud. But anyway, thank you so much. And then we last Flosstube, we started a section where we wanted to congratulate people.
Yeah.
Now, right now, we have written down anybody who's like Flosstube we were watching who had a major milestone, either like a subscriber milestone or like a Flosstube anniversary.
Or a birthday. I found some birthdays.
Oh, cool. But what we don't know is like if there are people who don't have Flosstubes or Flosstubes you don't watch. So feel free to send us names of people that you think deserve congratulations, whether it's a Flosstube or just a friend of yours who's a stitcher who doesn't have anything for us to like tag.
Share the stitching love.
Yeah, so let us know what those are and we will shout them out on our next Flosstube. So these are the ones I wrote down. Or do you want to go first?
I just want to say happy birthday to Dee's 20 Stitches and also to Marjorie Maid.
Oh, yeah.
December 3rd is when we're filming, so happy birthday.
And I wrote her down. She's, I think her 1 year Flosstube anniversary will happen before we record again.
Oh, okay. Happy
birthday and congratulations.
That's wonderful. The wording on that is still.
So the other ones I wrote down were Maggie from Kitty Whips. It's her 1 year Flosstube anniversary, either like sometime in this period. Pam from Just Keep Stitching finished her amazing giant Wizard of Oz like piece where she combined multiple patterns. It's really beautiful. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. But as somebody who went to the University of Kansas, and you lived in Kansas with me for a little while, and we always also grew up with Wizard of Oz, like that was really cool.
Our other sister was a huge fan of Wizard of Oz, and we've seen it a million times, and it's very nostalgic for me, so I love it.
And then Cam the Stitcher is celebrating her 1 year Flosstube anniversary. And if you haven't checked out her channel, it's amazing. And I was chatting with somebody on Jingle Ball last night. I was chatting with Kat and Jordan, and I'll talk about them when we talk about the Jingle Ball. But we both realized we had all found that like Jordan and I had both found Kat through Cam the Stitcher, because basically anytime she mentions anyone, we just go write it down and watch them.
Oh yeah, just excellent taste.
And then Antique Needleworkers hit 10,000 subscribers.
Yay, congratulations!
And as someone who loves a vintage hoop, I love checking out Antique Needleworkers. Chris Cross Stitch hit 7,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And the David Sedaris of Flosstube.
He calls himself the Mr. Rogers, which also fits perfectly, but I see the David Sedaris thing.
It's the storytelling with the southern accent and the...
I love hearing him talk.
But also kind of like the fish out of water, because now he's up in New England. It kind of reminds me of when David Sedaris talks about like living in France. It's so like... You can tell, like, it's like, you know, he's seeing different things and appreciating different... I just love his channel. Oh, and the mom story is...
Oh, I know. It's tearing my heart out.
And then Laladee Stitches celebrated 2 years on Flosstube. So congratulations.
I love Laladee.
We love her channel so much.
So fun.
All right. Do you want to talk about Jingle Ball before we dive into other topics?
Yeah. I logged on at the very, very beginning when I'm assuming everybody did, because as if you were there, you understood there were technical difficulties. But once those were cleared up, it was so much fun. Like, it was, I didn't take any of the classes. I just went into the rooms. I went into, where was I? I texted you and I was like, you need to get in this room right now, because it was, Marjorie Maid was there. I didn't say anything because I was too nervous, but there were a lot of people that I recognized from Flosstube. I did go into the Flosstube Addicts table. That was fun to watch.
By the time I logged, so I waited till my kids were asleep to log in both nights. And so by the time I logged in, the Flosstube Addicts was full. And I didn't realize there were more tables to the right.
Oh.
So I was like, I don't see the one that you're saying you're in. Maybe we don't all have the same tables. And I was in different rooms. I talked to I was in a room that had like a ton of people. It had like Nicole Spohr, and it had Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher. But in it were the only people I talked to in it, because I that one was like so big. I was just mostly watching. I talked to Emma and Brandy from B&E Stitchery, and I love their channel. So that was really nice. And then last night I was in a room that only had like 10 people, and
those were the best.
That was really fun.
I was in a few where it was just like 10, 12 people. And the conversations were so much better, and you could actually say like, "Hey, what are you stitching on?" and then see everybody's. So it was like a mini whip parade. It was fun.
So in there, I talked to Adelia, and I will. I haven't watched her channel yet, but she just started one. I think it's called Addie's Quilts and Stitches or something. I will link her. Definitely go check her out if you're a Mirabilia stitcher, because she has like. She showed us her stack of just patterns that aren't kits yet, and then she has a bunch of kits, and then she has a bunch of whips, and she was really fun. And then Kat from Whittier Stitches and Jordan from Jordan at Needle House. And I already watched Kat, and I was already subscribed to Jordan, but was waiting. Like, sometimes I'll subscribe to a channel, but I won't have time to watch their last video, so I'll just wait till the next video pops, like till they record a new one, and then I'll watch that one when I see it in my subscription feed. And so it was funny because I was like, oh, I'm already subscribed to you. But I hadn't watched the video yet because her next one will be like the first one that I jump on. But
I do that too.
That was really
somebody
fun.
mentions someone, you're like, I don't have time now, but I'm coming back.
We both did some shopping. I bought the 2 Baubles books, and I bought some physical patterns from Heartstring Samplery that are not here yet. So they'll be haul on a future video.
Same. I bought I bought 2 Satsuma Street patterns that are hard copy, but I did get one that is a PDF that I'll talk about later.
Yeah. And it's like, this shopping was really good and fun, and I downloaded every free pattern that was in there.
Yeah, me too.
But by the time this comes out, the Jingle Ball will be over. So this is more like if you didn't go this year and you want to go thinking about going next year, I really liked it. And I only did the $10 ticket. I didn't take any classes, and I didn't sign up for any free classes because I didn't know with childcare what was going to be possible, because we celebrated my husband's birthday yesterday. His birthday is tomorrow, but we did all our stuff yesterday, so I didn't have extra time. But next year, it's like a little bit later in the month, so it's like the 6th through the 8th. So I might be able to say like, okay, Mom, can I take this tree finishing class, please? Do you have anything else you want to say about the Jingle Ball?
No, it was a lot easier to navigate. I was nervous about it because I'm not very techie. So an online retreat, just to start as my first retreat, it sounded too intimidating, but it wasn't. It was very user-friendly, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I did get stuck when I didn't realize there were more rooms. And then I also, tip for next year for myself, too, for anyone that didn't go, and myself, the first night I didn't get much stitching done because I didn't like think about like, oh, I should get something that's like kind of retreat style stitching ready to go. So I was trying to stitch on this ornament, and it was but I needed to like pay attention to the pattern too much. But last night I started working on something where I was just stitching one color. Like, it wasn't really fill-in, but it was almost as easy as fill-in terms of like, I just had, I was stitching one color for basically a block of color. And so I got a lot more stitching done while I was on it yesterday. Yeah. And that was good.
Yeah, since I didn't talk too much, I did get a lot of stitching done. I was mostly just the quiet listener. But I had my camera on, so I wasn't just sitting there in the dark, but
but it was super fun. I'm glad.
It was fun.
I'm glad I set aside. I'm glad I used my free time at night to do it, but next year I think I will try to set aside additional time to do things.
Yeah.
But I will need childcare for that, so we'll see what happens. All right, so finishes. Do you have any finishes, Sissy?
I did. I had one finish. It's a SAF. It's a start and a finish.
Ooh,
This is Merry Christmas.
that's really cute.
I brought the board today. This is by Hello from Liz Matthews.
It's really pretty.
I actually started it a couple weeks ago. I think it was right after the last time we filled a Flosstube, because I was for Liz Matthews Monday, because I was working on the pumpkin house and it's not calling to me right now, probably because I'm super into stitching Christmas. So I was like, I need another Hello from Liz Matthews. And so I found this on her site. This is a freebie. This is Merry Christmas 2020.
She has a couple of freebies
Yeah.
on her website. One's super cute. That's like a piece of mistletoe.
There's a holly. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it might be
so
the same
cute.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to do that as my little travel stitch, because
It's really cute.
I stitch on the run. And I wanted to do a little monochromatic one, and this was perfect. It was so cute. It's so much
really
fun.
pretty.
So that's my finish.
Do you have any plans for the full finish of it?
The full, I do. Yeah, I want to make it into a small picture frame that I can put like just prop out.
Yeah.
Maybe not a flat fold, because that seems way too complicated. So I'm just gonna buy a little tiny.
Well, you have room
Picture
for
frame.
some storage stuff.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It's really cute.
Yeah. Do you have any finishes?
I do. So you guys saw that I had the tiniest little baby start last week of just like one of, this is 2 shades of red in the bird, and I had one of the shades of red done. But this is Witch's Garden Crafts is doing a free Yule stitch along, and it's like a Quaker garden style pattern, and I'll show, it's like a mystery stitch along, so we're still one piece is still missing. But she had said before it started that you could do it like all together, or that some of the motifs pulled out would make really cute ornaments, and I decided to do them as ornaments. So this is the cardinal motif from it, and I think it's so cute and sweet.
It is.
And I'm really glad I'm not stitching the whole thing, because I just don't have the patience right now to stitch a whole lot of, like, I want to stitch Christmas, but I'm kind of liking doing a lot of different Christmas pieces, and that one stitch along would be like almost all my Christmas stitching.
Yeah.
Oh, this and another project that you guys will see later. All my little ornaments right now are living in this Teresa Kogut bag from Pretty Southern that I really like. Okay. All right. What are your new starts?
Okay, so you saw Merry Christmas 2020, and then I had one other new start, and that is the Yule Goddess from Tiny Modernist.
Which is so pretty.
Oh my gosh, the first time I saw this, I geeked out. I was like, I want it so bad, but I'm pretty frugal, and I didn't let myself have it. And
Hey guys, thought she put herself on a budget, and then she blew through that budget so fast.
Blew it.
And we had a whole discussion last time about budgets that I cut out of the video because I needed to make the video shorter, and it was a really long, like, convoluted discussion about budget. So you missed a lot. But let's just say she put herself on a budget, and
Like, responsibly put myself on a budget.
And then blew that budget. I'm so proud of her.
It's out the water.
Because I do think all the things you bought were like Christmas things, and
all Christmas,
and you are gonna stitch them probably all year. So
yeah.
It's not like,
I'm excited. But
this is so cute.
Anyway, I did spend the money and I bought it because it's just adorable. Oh, it's so adorable. Let me show you.
Okay, where's the board? Hand me the board.
The board is right here. All right.
Look at this fabric.
Isn't it beautiful?
So do you find, because you're stitching this on what, 20 count Aida?
This is, no, it's not 20 count, it's 16.
I was surprised how soft this Aida is. Between the hand dyed and the smaller count,
oh yeah,
it is so soft. So
yeah.
if you don't like stitching on scratchy Aida, and yes, there are 14 count Aidas that are soft, but who's this fabric by?
This is by Ronalyn.
This is so
16 count
soft. I never would have guessed. If I didn't like look at it, if I just touched it, I wouldn't have guessed that it was Aida.
Well, it's not the called for, because the called for is a linen, and I wanted to stitch on an Aida. So I think the called for is Weeks Dye Works. But I did by Ronalyn and DMC.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. I am so obsessed. So what I think I'm gonna do is stitch all of the little motifs first around her, kind of like a border, and then do her from top down because, oh, how fun.
You're flying through this.
How fun. Is
You're
it?
gonna have this done before
it's so
Christmas.
cute. That's the goal. I wish I could have it. Well, I don't know. Her skirt is like
It's a lot of stitches.
pretty deep.
Well, okay. I think you'll do this many stitches before Christmas. I don't know if you'll do this.
I have so many planned starts. You would be so proud. I am a little bit nervous, but excited.
She's like, I need to get.
But I'm gonna do it.
I need to get a Notions template because I got a lot of starts coming.
Y'all, you have no idea.
What's your next new start?
So, nope, that's all the new starts I have.
Oh, okay. So most of them are planned starts. Yes. They're not done yet. Okay. Well, I have a lot of starts. I did not touch more projects than normal in the last 2 weeks. They are statistically, last time I had more whips and finishes, and this time I have a lot more starts. So I'll start my start section with the end of November. So I had last week, I showed you guys Fairy Flora and Moon Glow, which you'll see in whips. And then I was really liking them, so I kept stitching them, and I didn't really want to stop stitching them to start other ones, but I had 2 more Noras fully kitted with the fabric. And this is Lady Mirabilia. So I'm doing it on a 28 count linen from Bestitch Me in the colorway Luna Moth.
Oh my god, I love this color.
And it's really pretty. I am a little nervous that it's like not a ton, like I'm a little nervous that it's the color.
They're not contrasting enough.
Are not contrasting enough, but I'm not really nervous about it when it's fully done. And in my apartment, it looked more similar than this because I did decide I was going between this and a purple Lotus from Bestitch Me, and that it ended up being too close. The stitches that were going to be on the outside were more purple because this kind of looks silver, but it's actually a water lily that has different shades of like lavender.
These are water lily?
So this is DMC, but this is all water lilies. But I do really like this pattern a lot. I think I'm going to stitch Fairy Flora more.
How pretty those colors are.
Like,
it's so variegated.
I know, I really love it.
It's like beautiful.
So I think I'm going to stitch Fairy Flora more often than this one, but I really like this one, and I am going to keep stitching. So basically the 4 November starts that I made, Moon Glow and Fairy Flora are more of focus, but I'm not going to stop stitching the other 2. I'm going to get them little bits of progress as I go. And I'll show you the other November start that I had, which I talked about before. It's a quite strange early one, and this is my tiny little start. I just wanted to officially get it started during November. I started it at 11 p.m. on November 30th because...
So it counts.
It counts, but I'll show you guys the picture. This is Elizabeth in the Lavender Sky, and I really just did 3 strands. So it's 1 strand this way, 1 strand this way, and then a different. I still wanted to do something that wasn't border.
Yeah.
So, but I'm in this weird little color block, and I'll probably be there for a while. The reason, so I had this kitted up all month, but I kept putting off starting it, even though I converted it to full coverage, so it's on Ada. So it's actually kind of like a totally different experience than the other ones. But my pattern has like a weird crunch where you can't really see what some of the stitches are right here. And it made me like, but I wanted to do a corner start, and it made me stress like that I wasn't going to be able to figure out enough. But I decided I'm just going to stitch what I can see. And if I end up with like a gap of stitches in a couple places because it's an older pattern, then I'll find someone who can help me with like what those like 200 or 300 missing stitches are.
Yeah.
But instead of letting it slow me down and not start. So it's just a tiny little baby start.
Have you thought about starting it somewhere else and working towards that?
Because it's full coverage, my brain only works full coverage top left corner.
Okay.
I can start on a non-full coverage piece. I can do a center start.
Yeah.
I can do a top center start.
Yeah.
I can do a top left start if there's a lot of stuff going on in the top left corner, but I can't start anywhere else.
Okay.
And it's just like, and I know people who stitch in hand find that starting in the top right is easier. That is enough of a challenge for me that I probably won't ever try to stitch in hand just because I don't want to start in the top right.
It's hard.
Like my brain works, like typewriter method for full coverage is the only thing that makes sense to my brain. Like I don't want to do anything else. But so those were my 2 new starts for November. And I love both. I like both of them. They're very different from each other. So it makes it easy to like, all of my Noras are very different from each other. or my Noras and Mirabilis. So it makes it easy to bounce between them because it's not like I'm not getting sick of anything. You know, it's like, so Lady Mirabilia lives in this beautiful bird bag from the Fox's Cottage, who I love their Flosstube. They haven't posted in a while.
No.
I hope they come back because I really like their
Yeah.
Flosstube. But even if they don't, I know she still has some bags for sale in her Kofe shop. So you should definitely check those out and purchase them, because maybe if we buy all of her bags out, then she'll be like, oh, I gotta make another Flosstube because I gotta make more bags.
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth in the Lavender Sky. I think it lives in here. Let me just double check. I moved some bags around. You guys know I like to, yeah. You definitely, so I had it in a bag that was really too small once I had it kitted up to hold the floss. So it lives now in the,
I love that bag.
in the kitty's bag. My Turkish BAP got moved to a bigger bag. So everybody, all the project bags moved up one. So this is from Kathy's Pose. No. I get those two confused. This is from Carrie Sews For You on Etsy. And it's cats and glasses. All right. Now, my next new start. So last time I showed you guys the finish of the Alforce embroidery. Like, I'm doing a set. They're called Winter Birds. There's 8 of them. I'm only going to do 2 or 3. And last time I had finished Robin. Blue Jay. Last time I finished Blue Jay. And this is Robin. So I did the birds in the middle, but there's more. I'll show the picture up here. There's more like blue pine cones and stuff that like go around them. But it's the last one. You could do the brown all the way around and kind of snake your way around. And so even though it had brown everywhere, it wasn't a lot of stopping and starting.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, here, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah. This one, all the brown, like it's like pine cones and branches and stuff. They all, like, it needs a lot of stops and starts. So it's not quite, so like see on this one, like that, all that brown is really like 3 different sections. So you don't have to stop and start very much. But on that one, it's like a lot of stopping and starting, so it's not going as fast. Like, because you do this and then there's nowhere to go. Because I do think it's not super see-through fabric, but it's see-through enough that I don't want to do too much. Maybe I'll just go because
I don't think it's see-through at all.
When I make them into ornaments, maybe I can just back them in black or something where it makes it so that any shadows don't.
Yeah, just put some interfacing on the back.
But I'm doing this on Grimoire as a 14 count Ada from Witch's Garden Crafts. And I talked last time about how I wish it had a different name, but it is what it is.
I heard another fabric called hot cocoa though. I was like,
I know, I saw that.
Find a new one.
I'm still calling this hot cocoa in my brain just because and Allie from Allie's Crafty was like, no, I get you. Like that. And I was like, thank you. But it's a perfect ornament.
Yeah.
I feel like Christmas colors really pop on it.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Without it being like just white, so. All right, and then it lives in the same bag I already showed you. This is my last new start, but this is like a big deal new start. I'm so excited about it.
What is this?
So this is the Christmas Bell sampler.
Oh, yeah.
Pattern that you picked up for me. So I'll show you guys. I left my binder of paper patterns. All right, I'll show you guys the picture of it because last time I forgot I had the pattern. But I was a little nervous because this fabric isn't quite big enough. Isn't big enough for a 3-inch margin. It's only got a 2-inch margin on the sides. Oh. So I decided to go ahead and do a center start and then do as much of the easiest version of the border I could do without all the embellishments, just to make sure that I had enough space and it was placed correctly before I committed to like lots of extra stitches. Yeah. So, you know, this whole border is going to have like bells and fairies and stuff on it. But I am not doing any of those until I did it. Now, I was going to do all the way around and make sure that it lined up, but this border doesn't actually line up.
Is this how big it's going to be?
Yeah.
Even way down
No. I have extra fabric on the bottom I didn't cut.
Oh, okay.
So, because it was like, I didn't cut it because it wasn't like enough where I was going to get that much more out of it. Okay. So, like, it's going to be like here. Whew. So, yeah. So, I'll have like a strip. Maybe I'll do some bookmarks or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But, so I was going to do the whole border, but then I realized this border doesn't meet up right here. It like, see these weird little things where it like, here, I'll show you Allison. So see how it like goes in here? It does kind of repeats that and then starts, so they don't actually touch.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, well then I'll just, now that I know it fits, I can go back and start because I don't need the border to meet up. So I can work on this border once I
But
have
aren't you
the
curious? Don't you
Well,
want
yeah.
to know?
Obviously, yes. But this is on 28 count vintage light exemplar. And the
It's
called
really
for
pretty.
is light exemplar, but I don't think it's vintage. But
see it.
like the vintage version of Lakeside Linen isn't that different. I don't think. It's like slightly different, but it doesn't get really mottled. And then this is in the called for. I'll show you guys. This is in the called for Gloriana silks. I'm missing one of the Gloriana silks that's called for. See, look, you were worried that the pattern it was like too springy of a palette because the picture's a little springy.
The picture looks a little bit.
In real life,
pink.
it's not springy.
No, oh, those are beautiful.
In real life, it's very Christmassy.
Those are really Christmassy.
And then I have not the one green I'm working off of. I haven't organized it yet, so you can't. And so I'm missing Sassy Green, and I placed an order for it, and it has not come yet, and it keeps, my 1, 2, 3 stitch order keeps getting pushed back. Like, so this is the NPI, that's the substitute. But Gloriana silks are slightly variegated and NPIs are not. So, and I don't need to use that green until like the very end because it's just like a decoration on some of the leaves and the border. It doesn't go in the middle, and
if
it doesn't.
It's that small, you won't see the variegation anyway.
Well, there's like you do leaves, but it's not integral. Like I could do it last, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not gonna get even halfway through this piece before the season's over.
Yeah.
So it's like
you're not gonna stitch Christmas.
I think I'm gonna stitch this in July. I put on my Webco board, which I'll talk about in the next video. I'm gonna talk about my plans.
You're sweet little.
So I do think I'll pull it out in July, but I think I could literally wait till the very end to do that color. So if that order never comes through, I'll find it some other way.
Yeah.
But I love this pattern. I'm super excited. And I'm going to start doing more border stuff now that it's like
faux show.
Yeah, now that I have it all. But I think it's so pretty.
It is pretty.
And I'm really excited about it.
I love this.
It's 15,000 stitches, so it's not as many stitches. Like, it's not unfinishable, but I would have to do only that in December if I wanted to finish this year, and I'm not going to do that. So
yeah,
I'll just work on it a little bit at a time. But I am going to next summer do Christmas in July and try to put in some more stitches on it. But it's so pretty, and it lives in this Carrie Sews For You Noel bag that my child ripped off. It had a cute like peppermint pull, and my Molly ripped it off, and so I saved it, but I haven't reattached it.
Yeah. Oh, she's strong.
It's I haven't been showing you guys my hoops. I do like showing them just so people see, like, if they like vintage hoops, see them in the wild. But I'm using this vintage Duchess hoop on this one. A lot of the Mirabilias I'm doing with Q-Snaps, but Fairy Flora does have, that I'll show you guys later, does have a nice hoop. Oh, okay, this is my last start. I don't know if I
just said that.
Sorry, guys. It was a lot of starts. Okay, so you guys have heard the saga of how I haven't been able to see anything.
I can't see it.
I know, the colors.
Well, and just because it's so tiny.
It's very so I'll show you guys the picture. In the picture, you can see that this giant pumpkin that I started with is actually quite, like, tonally related to the piece that it's on, like the fabric that it's on. So that's not unusual. But I got new glasses, and I actually can see, and that means I can see the things I was working on before that I couldn't see. But I also can now see to work on smaller counts. And so this is my first piece of 40 count. And this is Woodland by Fiberlicious. No, this is Woodland by Forbidden Fiber Co. I got it in that grab bag of fabrics. And it's the piece is called Pretty Pumpkins by Al Force Embroidery. And it's just, I just love it. And I'm working on it as like as one of my seasonal pieces, even though, like,
you can't say it at all, unfortunately.
I know, it's okay.
This is the smallest little tiny 40 count.
But next time you guys see it, I'll have, so I did a center start, and unfortunately to do a center start, I ended up with this orange on orange. But there's a big green leaf that goes right here, so hopefully I'll get to it soon. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is like, this pumpkin is very close to the fabric of the original, so it's right.
Yeah.
Because it's all done in orange fabric, and mine is just more mottled and browner than orange.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. I can see to do 40 count. I was using magnifiers, but before, when I would use magnifiers, I couldn't see around the magnifiers. So I had, like, it still made it things very slow. Whereas now as I can look at the magnifier, then look at my pattern and go back and forth. And so I really love
How
it.
do you like this compared to the 28 count that you started on?
I like how the stitches look on this better. I couldn't only stitch on something like this because it's like this is about 190 stitches, 160 stitches, and I did a lot of them in one go. But I still like, it's like I will be doing 40 counts on things, but it will never be like
your soul
the
project.
only thing I
Some
stitch.
people love the tiny.
Well, and some people
stitching.
stitch on like 56 count with no magnifiers, but like I just don't have the eyesight for that.
No,
and that's just
neither.
You know, I also couldn't be a pilot. Like I just don't have the eyesight for that.
No.
But I really love it, and it lives in this Kathy's Posies like pretty pumpkin bag, which I think is
pretty. Yeah,
and it's like, you know, I don't know if I'll put this one away at the end of. I mean, because it's like it's seasonal because it's autumn, but it's like Christmas time, but technically it's still autumn, so it's like, you know, till December 21st or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing I'm working on 40 count, and I'm starting at my New Year's Eve start is going to be on 40 count. So I might just keep working on this until I start that and then put it away for the season. But I really like it.
Me too. It's really fun.
That is all my new starts.
Yay!
All right. What are your whips, Sissy?
All right. I've got some whips. The first one, I had just the smallest start on our last Flosstube, and now it's almost a finish.
And why is it not a finish?
Okay, it's not a finish because I cannot find the bag with all the floss in it. So this is a prairie. Oh, I should have showed you that. I'll show you the pattern. This is a prairie year. It's a prairie schooler. And this one is actually called December, and it's this little Santa Claus guy right here. And I can't, I took it out, I was stitching on it, and then I must have pulled out, I don't know how it happened because this was not in the bag, but the bag and the floss are nowhere to be seen. They might be at a Starbucks, I'm not sure. Or maybe on a step outside my office.
I feel really bad if someone found it thinking they like found someone's purse and it's just a bunch of floss.
It's not a jackpot there, but
how did you lose the floss?
The bag,
the project.
I'm assuming, I don't know, unless
so that
I
makes me
grabbed
think you
it.
didn't leave it somewhere in public because that feels weird.
But I have searched my house top to bottom and I cannot find my prairie schooler bag. And it just looks like a plain canvas bag because I was going to stitch PS 1986 on it. And then I couldn't find it, so that didn't happen. So I need to not re-kit it. I'll need to re-kit the whole thing because I was going to do more prairie schoolers.
Well, you could just get those 2 flosses, finish it, and then...
Oh, I'm going to do that this week because I do want to have him as a finish. But I just need to finish his poor little face and hat, and then he's done. I was so looking forward to having 2 finishes, and I didn't get it, so...
That's okay. I kept thinking, like, oh, I should finish something. I'm like, nah, not doing that.
Okay.
I even made a spreadsheet of like all my whips because I love the Notion template from Stitching a Tee. I've been using it since September 1st, which is how I know I've stitched 93 days in a row because I've stitched every day since I got the template.
Yeah.
I stitched a lot of August, but I missed a few days in August, so I don't know exactly how many days going back to August. So I'm just starting it on September 1st.
Very good.
But I did make a separate spreadsheet because I wanted to see all of my whips and figure out how many stitches I had left in each one of them and like what I could reasonably finish. And it's like the ones I could have reasonably finished like were not ones I wanted to be working on, so I just didn't.
Okay.
It was like Witch's Cabinet only needs 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Pumpkin Carriage needs 1,500, but I like stitching that on Fridays and I'm not in a hurry, and I'm doing the Owl Forest, other things from Owl Forest too. So like then there was like one that only needed like 3,000, and it was like, but I don't want to stitch that every day before Sunday. It's like I just won't have it finished.
Yeah.
Or I had it finished, but I won't have like a bigger finish.
Well, I'm not close to a finish on anything except that.
That's okay.
Which is totally fine.
But you also like, it feels like every 2 weeks you pick up a small just for the fun of it.
I do.
And so like
I do enjoy
you'll
it.
probably finish 50 smalls next year.
I was gonna say I just got a whole bunch of free smalls at the Jingle Ball.
Yeah, we downloaded every
that
small.
I probably will be doing. So yeah.
And they were all really cute.
It was super cute. You'll see some of those. Okay, my next whip is my year. This is my calendar stitch. I do this 1 square a month starting in October. This is Another Year Creeps by Ink Circles. I'm doing it on 40 count Prehistoric by Fox and Rabbit. This is my only 40 count, and it is the most delicate thing I've ever done. I feel like I'm kind of a clumsy person, but I feel like dainty when I'm stitching on this, because it's like so little.
It's not the stitches that really freaks me out about the 40 count. It's how tiny the needle is.
The needle is so tiny,
like a giant, holding this tiny little mouse needle.
I have bent more than one needle. I will tell you that, because I'm like gripping it for dear life.
But you switched the order of the boxes.
I did. I switched all the orders to the ones I wanted. So I chose that one for October. My husband chose this one for November. And then I started December today. That's it. That's all I got.
It's looking good, though. It's looking really good.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It's so cute. It's hard to stitch on, but it does make me feel like a real cross stitcher when I pick up a 40 count fabric, doesn't it? I mean,
I feel like I unlocked
like
a
a
level.
pro.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, like level achieved.
Yeah.
Not achieved, but started.
So,
and then I immediately emailed the sister was like, "Can I change my monthly subscription to 40 count, please?"
But I can't believe you did that.
Only because I have so much 28 count, I don't need any more 28 count in my stash. I need to get some different counts.
Well, as much as I love this, I'm not doing 40 count ever again.
I like it. I can't only stitch it, but I'm doing. So I decided to do the Village of Hawk Run Hollow as my New Year's Eve stitch. It's gonna take me 5 years to finish it. But I realized unless I want it to be this big, which is, it's 2 feet by 3 feet if I do it on 28 count. If I do it on 40 count, it will fit on a fat quarter.
You're gonna look at 40 count fabric that often.
So I'm not gonna pull it out all the time. But it's like if I don't do that on 40 count, I won't be able to put it on my wall.
I didn't.
And so then it was like, okay, well this is not this isn't a choice about what I want to stitch, but this is like if I stitch this for 5 years, I'm gonna need it on the wall. But like,
how big is it in 40 count?
If it's not a fat quarter, it's 14 by something.
Okay.
I mean, it's still big.
It's a big piece.
Each of this is 12 squares that are 92 by 92, and most of them are full or almost full covered.
It's
gonna
project,
be but it's still 60,000 stitches. It's
and
not
it's
bigger
so
than and it will take for a long time. But you can get 12 mini finishes.
Oh, I love that about these little that was done, check. That one's done, check.
And I think that's so pretty.
It's really pretty.
And I love Fox and Rabbit fabric. Lakeside linen, Fox and Rabbit fabric to stitch me. There's something about stitching on a piece of lovingly cared for.
I forgot. I have another start.
Rewind. Okay.
This is another start, and it's the whole thing. It's that big.
What is this?
This is.
And what fabric is? This is gray.
This is a Ivory Ada.
Ivory. Okay.
Yeah. This is just 14 count Ivory Ada, which is why it is this big, because it is not on here. Surely it is 260 by 260.
What is it?
This is Red Christmas.
Oh, I didn't know you were starting that.
By Jordan Privé.
So what are you doing for flosses? Because the original pattern. What is the pattern called for?
The pattern calls for 3 different flosses. Only it's almost a whole monochromatic. It's called Red Christmas, so it's dark red, and a gold. That's optional to put in the little stars. And it's gorgeous. I love this pattern. And instead of doing a monochromatic piece, I decided to use the same floss as another one that I'm going to have as a new start. So that when I hang them together.
This color is almost identical to the coloring of Goddess. They're all going to look amazing.
They're all
together.
they're all tiny modernists, so it's the same.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the same kind of
the
pattern.
Other two are
they're the same kind of palettes. So I am doing a Christmas Time by Tiny Modernist 2. I haven't started that one yet, but I did start this one in those colors.
That's really pretty.
So since it's not a 1-to-1, I'm picking at random
whatever you want.
Whatever I want to do. I am gonna complete like whatever, if I'm doing a word, I'm going to do the whole word in that color, or a motif, I'm doing the whole motif in that color. So it's easier, and just because that sounds like a lot of fun. And this is going to be my treble stitch. So I'm going to take it with me.
That's really pretty.
Yeah. So I did a middle start on this, and that's just the Christmas tree. That's as far as I got.
Sorry guys, I have to take a drink. Do you have any other whips? You have to, right?
I have one more whip.
This is a Diet Coke safe zone.
Yeah. This is Sooner Santa. It's Oklahoma Sooner Santa, and I don't have
I have the picture uploaded.
Oh,
now
okay.
that I'm editing off of I'm not editing on the hard drive, but I'm keeping everything on one hard drive. I don't have to get rid of everything every time I start because of my computer crashes.
Good. So this is Sooner Santa. That's his little arm. He's holding a wreath. You can kind of start to see the bow on the wreath, which is nice because when you're this close to a full coverage, you can't really see anything. But I think that's the outline of the inside of the wreath, and that's the bow on the wreath. But it is full coverage, so it's slow going, but I really enjoy full coverage.
I love full coverage.
Yeah.
I like not only doing full coverage, but I really do like full coverage.
Yeah. And it's not my only full coverage either. So it's just the only one I worked on this week, or the last couple of weeks.
Well, you only worked on full coverage for 6 years, so yeah. I think it's okay if you take a full coverage break. Yeah.
But those are all of my whips. So not terribly many, but in plans you'll understand where this
things
is going.
Are gonna get crazy,
and it's going quickly. It's snowballing fast. So how are you? Show us your whips.
Okay. So Yay. I'll show you this. I didn't work on this much, but I did pull it out a couple times. So this is Grand Teton National Park. This is based on my photograph that I'll show you here. So I got into cross stitching. If you're new here, I got into cross stitching because I want to convert my professional travel photography, which is my day job, I'm a travel writer. So I don't take like Nat Geo level photos, but I just take pretty good photos. I have sold photos in magazines, so I'm proud of my photography, but I don't really want to sell it like as prints. So I figured I would make it into patterns. I could sell those. And that's what made me get into cross stitch. I just didn't know I'd then be like trying to do 40 count Russian pumpkins.
She went down.
Anyway, so I'm working on this one. So this is my 4th little postcard size one. I think when I get to 5, I'll start trying to get them into an Etsy shop instead of waiting longer. But so this is the model stitch for Grand Teton National Park, and I just kept filling in the sky. Like the sky is really detailed. It's so many different shades of blue, so it's going slower than some of the other ones. But also, I've just been feeling pretty. Christmas, and it's just hard to not do Christmassy stuff, and so I'm just not gonna stress myself out about it. I do have 2 more small ones kitted up, ready to go. So I would like to finish this one so I can work on, because I have another Grand Teton National Park one that's going to be pretty, and then I have a little French church that's going to be really pretty. So I would like to get to those. Yeah. But I'm not stressing myself out about it. But I do I love
those colors.
And I'm really proud of how beautiful the sky is looking.
It is.
But it is more intense than the sky I did for the Icelandic beach that was just a couple color blocks. Yeah. This is because you're converting to photograph, you're converting what you actually saw, and sometimes skies are nuts. And I could simplify the skies and take them out, and probably on some photos I will, but in this one the sky was really important to the picture. So yeah, there's that one. The other photo that I'm working on that I converted, I'll just go ahead and do, is my hashtag back to school Sal. And I put about 200 stitches in it. I was doing 2 strands a day. I am going to get back to doing 2 strands a day, because what happened is that I didn't have a bag big enough to leave it on the Q-snap, and so that was making me not want to get it out. So I got a new bag for it that is big enough that I can pull it in and out.
I can already see the warmth.
I know.
That's awesome.
Jasmine from Jasmine Customs Bags.
Oh my God.
I asked her if she could make me something specific for this piece, because she was already doing something that we'll talk about in haul. And she asked me what fabric I want. I was like, do you have cats? Because it's symbol cats. But then also it'd be a bag I could use for other projects later. And it is big enough to hold the Q-snap and the giant floss pack for this. So I am I hit 3% done yesterday.
That's awesome.
So I am going to sell this one as a photograph, but I'm going to sell some of the bigger ones as patterns without models, because I just can't. Some people might want to stitch things, and I can't stitch 60,000 model stitches all the time. Like, I wouldn't get to stitch anything else.
Yeah.
But with the smalls, I do want to have them stitched up as models.
What is your progress goal on this one? Like,
well, okay, because this is really just one I would like. Originally I thought like, oh, I could get it done for next year, but I don't think I want to stress myself out about it. I am going to keep doing 2 strands a day, but I don't want to like if I miss a day, I don't want to be like, oh, I have to make it up because I have to hit a certain whatever. It's like, I'm just doing 2 strands on it a day, and it's fine.
That's awesome.
And the picture is so pretty, but because the picture it's so big, I'm not going to get to the stuff that I really like about it
for a long
time. Whereas on a little postcard size one, you get to stuff really fast. And so the hard part about converting, I've talked about this before, but converting a photo with 1 million colors to a really big size is very easy. Finding patterns or photos that look good as 4x5s or 8x10s is actually very difficult, especially if you're trying to get them down to like 30 or 50 colors, or even down to like 20 colors. So I could take any beautiful photo I've had and make it 4 feet wide, and it would be beautiful. But it wouldn't be stitched, like it wouldn't be something I'd really want to stitch, and I know some people would, so I will do some like that.
Yeah.
But really, like the hard part of this is combing through and finding photos and tweaking them until they look good at a thing that people can feel good about accomplishing. Because I'd love if I had 100 photos that were less than 5,000 stitches, I would feel like I'd put like stuff that people could really enjoy out into the world.
Yeah.
Whereas like I can convert every photo to 16x20, but who wants to stitch 16x20 all the time?
There are some people.
And I will, that's why I will have some that are like that. But it's not the only thing like that I want to
But it's also, that's not as uncommon as you might.
I know, it's crazy.
You might think.
I know, like I didn't realize, because I never heard of Hades and like how art designers.
I've never heard of Hades.
Or these big, but also like, then stitching one of them is like a lifetime achievement or something. Like even so some of the Mirabilias I'm doing are like 50,000 stitches. This is 60,000. They're kind of in the same area. But a lot of photos need to be bigger than this to look good, because it's just like...
The one that asked you to... I was curious to see if my wedding photo, how hard it would be.
People are hard.
Oh my gosh. When she sent me the file, I was like, no way in heck.
Her wedding photo only really, and she's already stitched her like hand holding her bouquet, so she doesn't need to stitch more to have the experience of it. But to actually make the photo, her like professional wedding photo, look good, even really zoomed in quite, even cropped in just on them, it's like 72 pages. And like
72 pages.
I mean, it was the size you could put up on the wall. It wasn't like a piece you could never put on the wall or something, but it'd be like you'd spend 10 years on it.
And I love him, but that picture is just as beautiful if I print it out. I could do 72 other projects, 72 other pages.
Okay.
Or the one.
So I'll show you guys, I'll do the other 2 November
that we can't do
start. So I put more into Fairy Flora. I really like this one. I didn't know when November started this was going to be such a fun stitch. Like it's putting like different pinks in is so sweet. Like, cause I'm just in the middle of her dress and I love the fabric. So I'm doing this as a stitch along with, Rachel from Licking Floss, and then Sarah from Memphis, Sarah E is joining us, and she talked about it in her last Flosstube that we're working on it. Anyway, if you're in the middle of Fairy Flora, or if you own the pattern already, it's the Fairy Flora retirement sale, because Fairy Flora got retired, and so a lot of people went and bought her like real quick before the market went crazy on her. I mean, you can still get the pattern, but now it's on eBay for like $50 instead of like $15. But if you already have it, or if you want to start it, join us. We don't have any like goals or timelines or anything. We're just stitching her. I'm doing this on 28 Count Earth by Fiber on a Whim. You know what? I should double check that. Because I just straight copied Rachel's. Yes. Oh, I got that right. Okay. I just copied Rachel's
choice.
Yeah, fabric choice. Because I was like, I don't know, and you're so good at it, I'm just gonna copy you. Because like what she wanted to do, I already had in stash. So I was like, oh well, am I gonna leave this piece of fabric in this box sitting here not using it?
Yeah.
And I'm using my favorite hoop on her, which is part of why it's such a fun one, which is this really big princess. Because like, look, like it's perfect for
that does
stitching
look like
this.
a good Mirabilia.
It's perfect for
fancy
stitching
lady
this.
one.
I do like stitching Mirabilias with Q-snaps, but this is perfect.
Yeah.
And she lives in this. So you'll see the witch's cabinet got kicked out, and Fairy Flora moved up in the world because the bag I had her in was like comically small. So now she lives in this Jasmine's custom bag, Ouija board bag with her giant floss bag. I love it. It's so much fun. If you have it, it's like a really fun, sweet stitch. I really like getting it out every time. Like I'm always happy when I'm working on her.
It's really pretty. It's gonna be so amazing with all those beads.
And I didn't, like when I started doing Mirabilias, I didn't think I'd be a fairy person. Now I like multiple of the fairies, and I'm loving stitching this fairy as my first real Mirabilia that I started, which is not what I would have expected.
Yeah.
So I put out my Nora November like plans video, and basically like didn't know what I was gonna do, and then like was like, no, I want to start 3. I don't know how many, like whatever. By the end of the month, it's like I had 2 sales going, was talking to people that I really already liked, but like talking to them more closely and like conversing with them about plans and stitch-alongs, and started different patterns than I expected to start because the fabrics for the other ones didn't come in. So I ended up starting these. Loving all of the ones that I'm stitching. Like it was such a good, like it was so much fun to do it, but it was also like putting myself out there on video saying like, this is what I think I want to do. Talk to me and then people saying like, let's sell. I was going to stitch these alone. Like so now I have 2 stitch alongs for 2 of them. And it's just been like the best, most rewarding thing. And it isn't doing Nora November wasn't the most rewarding thing. It was saying, I'm going to do this. And then giving other people the opportunity to like
reach out to you,
to reach out and talk to me, and like it was so great.
Let's do it.
So I love it.
That's part of this community, though. Like,
I know.
Put yourself out there and see what comes back, and it's most of the time.
But also, like, if you told me, like, so Rachel from Licky Floss was already one of my favorite Flosstubes. Can't believe she's the one that was like, hey, you want to sell this?
Yeah.
And then Memphis Sarah E is like so fun, and like I was like, oh, okay, like I'll talk to you too. Like you seem like super fun and cool. And then the other one that I started, which I'll show you guys now, it's like, okay, so I'm selling this with Elizabeth from Savory Sewing and Allie from Allie's Crafting. They were both 2 people I already really liked before I started talking to them. It's like, it was just so great. It was such a rewarding experience, and I really can't believe that like it all happened because I made a silly video. Like, so. Okay, so this is Moonglow, and I'll show you the picture of what she looks like. I love this piece. I love my fabric. As you can tell from the other fabrics, this is definitely the fabric I went most out on a limb for. Mm-hmm. This is 28 count Bestitch Me in the colorway Paranormal. It was a fabric of the month for September, but now I think it's on her website. And this is the first Nora I started, and it's just so pretty. And so last time I showed it, I had gotten to here. So I just added this flower and these leaves. I'm going to come all the way down here, then go over and do the blanket, and then come up and then do the
I can't wait to see this. It's
and
so
then beat it
beautiful. This is a great fabric. Like,
I love it.
And
other people are joining us. So Peacock Stitcher joined us. A couple other people are talking about joining us. And everybody's fabric choice is different. And I like all of them because it's the way that the picture is set up with her looking up at the moon. What the fabric looks like really changes the tone of the picture, but you can't really pick wrong, but it changes the mood. Like, is it like a nighttime, like
sunset?
Yeah, like so. I love everybody's fabric choices, but it will be so fun to see her come alive on all these different ones. And I liked it. Part of what drew me to it was like the only kind of like body positive stick figure Mirabilia / Nora Corbett out there. I think there's a few others, but not like this. But then yesterday I was talking to, I told you guys, I was talking to Kat during the Jingle Ball from Whittier Stitches, and she is working on a I don't remember her exact words. I'm sure she has very specific words that she wants to use, but she's working on a curvy fancy lady pattern.
Oh.
And so I'm excited to see what she comes up with because
Yeah.
or what she releases because she talked a little bit about the process and that will be really cool. So that's Moon Glow.
Very beautiful.
And she lives in this dragon bag from Jasmine's Custom Bags. And I need this bag for a different project next summer, so that's a good reason to be like, hey, you have a kick-out eviction notice day. Your lease is not getting renewed, so you need to be done before House of the Dragon.
Out of here.
Well, House of the Dragon is coming out next summer, and I've been to several Game of Thrones filming locations and I have photography for them, so I don't know exactly which spot I'm gonna make a pattern for because it kind of depends like once I have them and I'm looking at the different ones, what one looks the best. But one of them is going in here during House of the Dragon, so she needs to be done at some point. All right. This is my Long Dog Sampler Sundays. This is a little peccadillo called Clandestine.
Say clandestine.
And I'm stitching it on 28 count antique white linen from Zweigart using Mo's silk it's a highly variegated silk called Medley. That's really pretty.
I know. I can't believe when you look at it, you think those are different flosses.
Yeah.
Surely those are different flosses.
So this is one. I have a huge tank of it, but that's just what I've bobbinated to work off of.
One color.
This is not a.
Hold on. I have got to show you. This is one floss.
It's so pretty. Mo announced yesterday that she's opening an Etsy shop. She's still going to do the Facebook group the same, but she is going to have an Etsy shop, which means I don't know exactly what she's going to have in it, but I would hope she would come out with some basics you could always get. So I have not been writing down the names or anything because they all just seemed like such one-offs. But now that I know she is going to have a real way you can buy it on a regular basis, I don't know what it's going to exactly look like, but I will start to pay attention more to what the names are. So if she does sell them, people can get them. But I think it's so pretty.
It is really pretty.
And I have another highly variegated from her that I'll show you in plans. All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more whips.
Okay.
We're gonna fly through. Sure. And that lives in this giant bag dedicated to all the Long Dog stuff I'm doing.
And you keep saying, oh, it's not a real bag, but
it's a real bag, but it's not
beautiful.
It's not a I don't know the
name. It wasn't created to be a project.
And I don't know the name of the store, and it's a store in Texas that imports things from Mexico, so who knows if they could even get it again. It's not but I do like it.
How cool is that?
It holds all my stuff for all my Long Dogs. And then I'm using this Princess Soup for that one, which I really like. Okay, I'm getting down to it. Here's Yellow Submarine. Now, I told you guys that it's my son's favorite song, and he wouldn't sing it in front of other people. He did sing it at Thanksgiving. I have it on video. But also, Spotify Wrapped came out. This is my #1 played song of 2023.
Is it?
Because we listen to it so much in the car.
The Beatles are also my #1 artist of the year.
No, I love the Beatles. Yellow Submarine isn't the song I would always pick all the time, and I'll show you guys the original pattern. My son loves the song, so that's kind of why I'm stitching it first. Now, I will in haul talk about the other Beatles stuff, but I added some of this green. So I had started, maybe I hadn't started any of this green last time. Maybe I just done half of this Quaker. I'd done all this in half and the green on the Quaker. So I added the silver on the Quaker, all of this plant to get down to the submarine. Because there's so much submarine, I just wanted to get to it so that I can bounce back and forth between it and the rest of the pattern, because I don't want to save it for last, because it's the whole pattern is only 5,000 or 6,000 stitches. It's not as big as it looks, but my guess is 60% are in that submarine.
Yeah. So
if you do everything else and think, oh, I just have the submarine left, you're gonna be roll.
Right. You're gonna be shocked.
And it lives in this Thread Lady 99 bag, but I think the colors actually go quite well.
Yeah.
And this is the only project I have where I'm using all the call for, but where it's on a floss ring knot and floss away bags, you can actually see the threads, because I'm using all the call for Gentle Arts sampler threads, and some of them are simply shaker threads. I don't really understand how Gentle Arts threads work, but And I'm stitching it with this
Oh, that's
7-inch
pretty.
princess hoop, which is like a perfect one for this. And then the fabric is Through the Stones, 28 count Through the Stones by Miss Stitch Me. And I saved the other half, and I think I'll do Octopus's Garden on the other half when this is
That's a
done.
good idea.
It's so pretty. I love it. It's such a fun stitch. And again,
it really is beautiful.
I never thought I would like it. And then I saw Jane from Running with Scissors stitching it over multiple episodes. I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing it. Because my son's obsessed with Yellow Submarine. Apparently I listened to it. I'm in like I'm in the Beatles like top 6% worldwide because of
Oh, I think I'm in top 1%.
So my Spotify results were insane because it was like, you know, Yellow Submarine, but then it was also like the musical 6. I'm in the top like 5% of people who listen to the musical 6 because we went and saw the musical, and so I listened to it a lot before then. But then also our other sister played it on repeat when we were on a road trip, and so I like it, but I don't love it, and I'm in their like top fans. And then something else. Oh, but then it said your geographical tastes are most like people who live in Harare, Zimbabwe, because I listen to a lot of like Afro, like specifically Zimbabwean music because my husband is from there, so we'll play it for our children a lot. And I have a wedding playlist from our wedding where I have a lot of those songs on it, and sometimes I'll put that on when we're driving. So it's just like my Spotify tastes are. My Spotify's like, who are you?
Everybody's is who like are
that.
You?
But then
mine goes from the Beatles to Jay-Z. Like my second favorite is Jay-Z.
But so this is Yellow Submarine.
Well, technically it wasn't one person; it was one family.
That's true. It's not just me on there, but well, I guess I'm the only person that uses my Spotify account, but I pick things for more people than just me, and also our other sister. Yeah. And then Jordan likes the 6 soundtrack because he's heard it so much. So sometimes he'll request to listen to No Way, and he'll go, no, 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 no way. Oh, I didn't show you guys. The Grand Teton National Park lives in this camping bag from Pretty Southern. That's so cute.
And I like that
one. But I didn't put it away. All right, so now that I can see again, we have the triumphant return of a pattern I stopped being able to see. Coffee and Eggs, which is like, I don't know. Every time I get her out, I'm giddy. And I don't want to stitch her every day because I don't want it to like ever be over. So this time I finished, so she just kind of had shoulders before. And so I finished her sweater, except I'm leaving all the white till the end. So I left her white buttons because I don't know how long it's going to take me. And I don't want those white eggs to get stained. So I'm doing the eggs last. So I'm like, I'll just do all the white at the end. And then I just barely started her skirt. I love it. And because it just makes me happy every time I stitch it. But I was because I couldn't really see, it had to be under such special circumstances. Yeah. But now that I can see, because it's just 28 count, I can see it at night with a light. Yeah. I don't need like anything special. Yeah. And then the called for is 30. I looked it up because the called for is 36 count baked clay. When I was trying to kit this up, I bought 28 count because they were out of 36 count. Because I would have gotten, I wanted to do this, because I'm using all the called for, I wanted to do this as close to the way that it was done as possible. And so, I'm doing this on a Q-set. But I do have a floss ring for this one, actually. There's a couple DMCs in the called fors. My needle minder and scissors. A needle are all, okay. So, most of it is Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts. There's a couple DMC, there's a couple Weeks Dye Works, which I bought before I decided not to buy Weeks Dye Works. So I'm going to use what I have, and then next time I kit something that needs weeks, because I love Artsy Housewife, but she does do a lot in weeks. So I have, of the ones I've already kitted, because I kitted I bought all the call for a bunch of patterns from her in September. So or August maybe. So I'll be using those, but then in the future, because she uses so much Weeks Dye Works, I will probably kit those up when we go to the Silver Needle. Maybe not the next time, but at some point, like I'll kit them up at the Silver Needle so I can look at pull the weeks and then go find
that's a
good thing, because I'm not that great online and always. Yeah. And then it lives in this beautiful Carrie Sews For You Fox bag. So I have 2 more whips. I finished the house, so this isn't like a finish for now or anything, but it is a house finish on Liz Matthews' Flowers and Friends, which I'll show you guys the pattern. This is a pattern that I got from her Patreon. So I think she's going to release it next year, like a year from when it came out. Like I think it came out October 15th. So next fall, if you really like this pattern, but you weren't in her Patreon to download it, because you can't join and get her old stuff. You can only get what she has available that month.
That makes sense.
So
sweet.
But I did do a silk conversion too, but I didn't write it down. But now I will start writing down my silk conversions when I use Mo Silk. But I'm using a combo of Stitchy Box, Mo's, and Fiberless Shimmy Fibers silks instead of the Call for NPIs. Now I did do the back stitching on the windows. I tried to do it, and she called for one strand on the back stitching on the windows, but her blue is darker and her gray, light gray, is lighter, and so there's more contrast in her picture than I was seeing. With one, I could barely even see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do 2 strands, and I still can barely see it, but it does change it just enough that I'm like, it's worth it to have it. And that back stitching took an hour, and it's so dumb that it took me an hour to
I'm just thinking it's another one of those things that people say all the time. We don't like back stitching.
It's 28 diamond shapes. That should not have taken me an hour, but it did. And it took so much thread, and I had a full skein of this blue Stitchy Box, so I had 8 or 10 yards of it. But I'm getting down to just the, like, I think I'll make it to the end, but if I don't and I have to order more, at least it's a Stitchy Box somewhere I can order more. And that lives in this.
Well, you could get really good at conversions.
I'm totally liking. I think this is Thread Lady 99 project bag, and I'm using this princess hoop. This size of princess hoop is so fun to stitch with. Oh, and I'm stitching this on 28 count Lakeside Linen in Vintage Magnolia, and it's such a fun. I get why people really like Lakeside Linen, and I'm going to talk about it during Flosstube University a little bit more. But I love it. I'm a sucker for like a piece of linen that feels really smooth.
Which is so funny because I like stiffer.
I know. Okay, full coverage, I like it to be stiff.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something really delicate, I want it to look delicate. And speaking of delicate fabrics, this one ain't it.
Mm-mm.
We've talked about it before, so I'll not go on.
We've talked about it a lot.
28 count Wishel rant. And I do believe their 32 count doesn't have this problem, but this is my last piece of 28 count Wishel I'll ever use. This is the Pumpkin Carriage, or I don't know if it's the or just Pumpkin Carriage, by Al Forest Embroidery. This is a free pattern. If you're joining our Princess Sal in January, Allison's birthday, Princess Birthday Sal in January, this is a free pattern, and it is a Cinderella pattern if you don't want to pay for a pattern. I'm using the Al Forest variegated threads. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to place an order with them. So if you want to use variegated threads on it, you would need to order them pretty soon. But you don't have to use the variegated threads. They have a whole DMC conversion, and I'm using their DMC conversion for those Christmas ornaments, and it looks good.
Yeah.
The only thing is that I think their DMC conversion would have these highly variegated. These are all highly variegated, but this is one color. This green to brown's one color. I think the orange to yellow, you could probably get away with doing it just as their DMC conversion, but the green to brown and the orange to scarlet almost, I would personally pull 2 different colors instead of trying to do those with just their DMC conversion, because I don't think their DMC conversion shows those as 2, like tells you to buy 2. So I would just buy 2 for those. But I really love their threads, which is good because I have 6 other pattern thread packs. So, and I'm starting a big one on December 16th. So I'll talk about that in plans. But I love this piece. It's really pretty. I just haven't been pulling it out quite as much because I've been doing those ornaments during the same time. But so this time I finished the curtain and I just added a little more of the pumpkin. I just haven't been pulling this out quite as much. Now, what I did was I added this curtain and then I added some more of here. I just haven't been like in a hurry to pull it out. I'm doing other Al Forest things and I really like it. So that I'm doing that Pretty Pumpkins I just started. And it's like, I could have worked with it, but it's like, I just want to enjoy this one and it will finish when it finishes. So even though I only have 1,500 stitches left, I don't want to like.
Are you going to pull it out for the Sal?
Oh, I could finish it during the sal. I mean, I have 2 other princess patterns I'm doing for the sal, so I'm not in a like. It's just it'll be. I just like stitching it. I like stitching it on Fridays, and I'll be kind of sad when it's done. So it's really fun. Coffee and eggs, I'll be sad when it's done. There's some that I'll be sad, and it lives in this like totally perfectly color palette matching.
I call
Kathy's
it the primary
Posies.
woman.
Yeah, and I'm using this. This is a Duchess, but it came a little bit split, and so I taped it together. But I love it. That's my whips.
That's all your whips?
All right. What are your plans?
Okay. I wrote them down.
Stare at my mountain of.
You have a lot going on. Okay, plans. I have a lot of new starts planned.
A lot of
new starts planned, and they're all so amazing. I'm so excited about every single one of them, and none of them are small. They're all very big. So I'm just gonna run through and I've already picked dates on where I'm gonna start.
Just remember, I need at least 10 seconds per picture to show the pattern.
Okay.
So
all right. So
my face is about to be a lot of patterns.
Whole bunch. Mill Hill kits. I bought a Mill Hill kit.
You bought another one?
No.
Oh.
The original one.
Okay.
The Christmas vintage. Oh
yeah, we are both.
We're both doing Mill Hill.
We were supposed to organize our Mill Hill kits after this video, but we're not gonna have time.
Unfortunately. But we will start it sometime.
I'll show mine at the same time. I'm gonna do this one.
And I'm doing this one.
And I bought more, but I'm gonna do this one because this is the first one I bought.
Are you gonna start it this month too?
I was hoping to start.
I know, but now that it's being delayed, I didn't know if you had scheduled.
I don't know what I'm gonna do because I need to separate out the bees and stuff when I'm not around my kids. So we'll see.
I am terrified
of doing that. In this, I think this is Kathy's Posies little snowman bag.
Oh, that is adorable.
That's so sweet.
That is so sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna start that. That's my Mill Hill start, and then on December 10th, which is next Sunday, I'm going to start Christmas Time by Tiny Wilderness.
Why next Sunday?
Because I have so many starts going, I thought a week apart would be good. Because then I can give a little bit of love to them before I move on. But I bought so many Christmas patterns, and I'm so into Christmas. I have a feeling I'm going to stitch these more than just Christmas.
I think you'll
time.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to listen to Christmas music all the time, so I have a feeling I'll also be just fine with pulling out Christmas in May. Yeah. So I'm not worried about how many Christmas themed starts I have. So there's that. And then the next one after that, I haven't kitted up yet, but it's going to be the Sunday. It's going to be 12 Days of Christmas by... I showed it to you.
You had a Tiny Modernist one, and you had a...
I had a different one. Who did my other one? I bought it.
Wasn't it from Ink Circles? Wasn't it from...
Was it Ink? No, it was Satsuma Street.
Yeah, Satsuma Street.
It was Satsuma Street. I'm doing 12 Days of Christmas, Satsuma Street. And to
because I asked you to buy that pattern for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I bought it at the Jingle Ball, which was awesome. And I'm starting it. I'm doing 2 different 12 Days of Christmas ones. The Satsuma Street picture and the tiny house, tiny house,
modernist.
Tiny modernist. Sorry, I had a tiny house. Tiny modernist, 12. But here's the deal with the 12 Days of Christmas. I don't know if you know this, but the first day of Christmas is December 25th, and the 12th day of Christmas is January 6th, and that is my birthday.
It is funny when people are doing like 12 Days of Christmas Advent calendar style. It's like, no. Okay, like I appreciate you just wanted to do 12 instead of 24. And it's totally cool. But the 12 days of Christmas are the days between Christmas and Epiphany. Yeah. Not before Christmas.
It's after Christmas.
Just like as a technicality.
Yeah. So it's the Advent is the 24th before, and yeah. So we're doing 12 Days of Christmas. And then so it's my birthday. It's Christmas and my birthday and that time of year.
And her birthday is on Epiphany, and so it's very important that it's 12 days later so it doesn't become
12
Christmas.
Days. So it's the whole time. So so that I have plates that are themed 12 Days of Christmas, and it's just very important to me. So I'm doing 2 different 12 Days of Christmas.
That's really cool.
So I'm starting one on Sunday, I think it's the 17th, And I'm starting one on Christmas. Now, these two that you've just seen are pretty, they're not small, but all of them fit on a relatively manageable size for me. So I'm doing those two. I'm starting one, the 12 Days of Christmas, that's not on Christmas, but I thought it'd be too much to do 2 starts on Christmas.
And today's the 3rd, so we'll record another Flosstube before Christmas.
Okay, so those are my.
But hopefully they'll be here by then. So.
But those are just a few of the starts. I have so many starts. Should I talk about the rest of the starts?
Well, you can talk about them next time.
Talk about them next time because this is a lot.
I mean, she's basically going to be starting and starting and starting.
I'm going to start.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So my plans. So I want to try to get a meal kit started because it'd be crazy to have bought. I bought like 5 and then not start one of them, but I could start one as soon as the threads are sorted without sorting the beads. Sure. I might just do that.
Sure. And it can be your stitch when you come over here. Stitch it with a child-free environment.
Really have like tons of. It's like
you could kit it up over
when we come over here. Well, we were supposed to do it, but then we ran out of time. But also when I come over here, it's like stitching is competing with getting in the hot tub, and the hot tub always wins.
I have a hot tub.
So you're always like, or I'm like, I'm gonna go stitch Allison's for 4 hours, and then I stitch for 20 minutes because we're in the hot tub the whole time. Yeah. So and
so worth it.
And like a medically inappropriate amount of time to be in a hot tub. That's like, so okay. So I do want to start a meal kit. I am gonna December 16th, which we're not. Okay, it will be before we film next. I'm gonna start Alyosha's alphabet, which is a giant sampler from Al Forest Embroidery. It is 60,000 stitches. I'm not going to finish it anytime soon. But I'm also going to use it as my pick-a-whip because I think it was stitched something with an alphabet on it, and it is a Cyrillic alphabet. So I should get that started before Marjorie calls the next pick-a-whip, so that should be okay.
Cool.
But I'm starting on December 16th because, so it is a Cyrillic alphabet. And in my Al Forest, I did a whole video about all the Al Forest patterns I was buying and the thread packs when they came in. And I talked a lot then about like when I lived in Eastern Europe and stuff. So I lived in Bulgaria for 4 years. I also studied Russian in college. I love the Cyrillic alphabet, but I want to start it specifically on December 16th because that is the 3-year anniversary of the day we had to leave Bulgaria, because like leaving Bulgaria was a very traumatic experience because it was the middle of the pandemic and we had an 11-month-old and we were trying to get my husband's visa papers to go to the US, so we never knew when we were going to leave. And then when we actually left, I had overstayed my visa by quite a while because of the pregnancy and the pandemic and everything. And so it was a very traumatic, weird time to be making an international move. It was a very strange day. We almost weren't allowed to leave the country. We had to like call the US embassy to like threaten them to like let us leave the country. My son was like throwing glass bottles on the floor of the airport. We had to be like, it was a crazy day. So I'm gonna start it on the anniversary of that day, just because it like I want to start it this year, and that day is like a really crazy symbolic day for our family. So I'm gonna start it on December 16th. It's really beautiful. I don't know how long it will take. I have no like get it done by a certain day, but it is all the blocks. It has like a block for every letter. There are more Cyrillic letters than Latin letters, so there's more than 26. And then there's 2 other blocks to make it a square or to make it a rectangle. So I think it's 32 blocks, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, so there'll be lots of little wins in there, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Good.
And I have the fabric for it. I haven't pulled. Oh no, I have the fabric and I got the floss pack. So it's ready to go. And I don't remember if I got what count of fabric I got. I need to go back and look at that.
Did you order it in your pre-glasses phase?
Yes. But I might have bought a higher count just because of the size situation, knowing like this is not going to fit.
You need
like
it to be manageable.
I can't remember if I bought a half yard or if I got a small count, but it's a big one. And then the only other thing I might start between now and when we talk again is if the fabric that I ordered for Christmas Excellence gets here, I'm going to go ahead and start it because I would like to stitch it this Christmas. But I'm not going to start it on different fabric. So I ordered a fabric for it on October, sometime in the middle of October from Stitch Me, but it was a dyed order, and so I'm just not in control of when it gets here. And it will hopefully get here before Christmas. If it does, I will just start working on it. But if it doesn't get here before Christmas, I'm not going to stress about it. So if it gets here, I will start it. And then other than that, I'm going to keep doing like I stitch certain like designers on certain days for theme days, and that really works for me. And I am going to get back to doing 2 strands a day on my the Turkish shop, and I didn't bring it, but my reality TV stitch is a Told in the Garden, and I want to get back to that now that I like am, you know, hopefully we'll have more stitching time. But I also know the next few weeks are going to be different.
Yeah.
And so if some
crazy.
habits don't come back till January, that's okay.
Yeah. Any other plans?
Those are my plans.
Your plans.
And then I need to kit up Cinderella and my Centra Palace for our birthday Princess Sal. And if you're gonna join our birthday Princess Sal, the hashtag is Princess Birthday Sal. Tag us. My Instagram account is the Cross Stitch the Glove one because I started it before Allison joined. Hers is Allison at the moment. Tag one or both of us. And if you have any questions about that, we have a whole video on that Sal, which I'll link to in the description.
Yep. It's gonna be fun.
It is gonna be really fun.
I already have 2 princess patterns.
I thought you were gonna buy like 12.
I was.
Did you
going
decide
to
do more Christmas?
Yeah, I decided I was more in the Christmas spirit.
Because you were like telling me like you were gonna start 6 princess patterns, but you were telling me you were gonna start 6 Christmas patterns. Like, so are you starting 12?
No
things?
Well, maybe I haven't decided yet. Because some smalls will enter the picture, but I don't know which ones or when.
All right, so now we're going to do Flosstube University, which is this portion of our show where we talk about things we learned from Flosstube. Because we mentioned Flosstubers throughout the episode as people like we picked up different things from, but this is where we really thought like when we're trying to watch and we like learn something, we like write it down. And that way we can like specifically say like, hey, not only like do we enjoy the entertainment from you guys, but we are learning from you. All right, what do you have?
All right. I am late to the game on this, but Notions. Using Notions to keep track of your cross stitch. Because I wasn't a monogamous stitcher until very, very recently, it was not something that would be necessary to my life. Now that I've got 6 projects on the go and get this, I'm going to make that 14 by mid-January. I'll have 14. So I went from 1 to 14 in a very, very short time. But it's getting
I went from 0 to
confusing.
22.
0 to 22. We're just, it's it's a slippery slope. It really is. So I'm learning Notions and building. I was trying to build pages, and so these are the Flosstubers that I referenced. Their reference videos, which were tremendously helpful. Bendy Stitchy and did one on Stitching Nutty's template, and the video is great to watch because Stitching Nutty does an excellent job of explaining all of her different pages and why and the different things they can do with it. So now after watching that, I really do think I should just buy her template.
I bought her template.
Yeah.
When I bought it was $9. I haven't looked at the prices because
I think it's $9. I did look it up, but I think it's $9.
It's so good. And you get it forever. It's not like a subscription. And she keeps adding things to it. What I haven't figured out is how to add the new things she's added since I started.
I could not help it. I'm not a tech person. I'm really, really bad at things like that. So I was watching videos just on Notions to see if I could try and figure out how to do any of those things myself. So I watched, not a Flosstuber, but YouTuber, Kevin Stewart. He used to work for Microsoft. So he does this really good tutorial on beginner Notions users.
Oh, that's cool. That would probably be good to have just because once you start using Notions, then you might want to use it for
other things. Yeah. Yeah. No, check out Kevin Stewart. He's how I learned a lot of different Excel shortcuts and formulas.
Is he the person we were watching that one day when you were trying to learn some like...
No. That was probably QuickBooks.
Oh, QuickBooks.
He doesn't do QuickBooks. He does Microsoft.
I come on.
So if you're interested in Notions and just navigating it, Kevin Stewart has a great tutorial. I also watched the Giddy Stitchers tutorial on it. Great. She's so energetic. I love it.
I'm in her Ko-fi subscription, and every month she puts out a pattern, and her Ko-fi subscription is €4, and I feel like the amount of stuff I've gotten from her, or £4 because she's British.
Yeah.
But totally worth. I love her videos.
Yeah. And then the last one was Frizzy Lizzy. does one that's really good. You
I'll
should check
link
that
to
one out.
all of the Notions like videos and people under the Flosstube University section if you're looking for that stuff. And then Cam the Stitcher also, she created her own.
I was gonna mention she's actually that inspired me to be like, I should start now because things are snowballing quickly, and so before I get too far, I should have a plan.
So she made her own before Stitching a Tea came out with hers. So hers looks slightly different, but it's still, I think, worthwhile going to her
Hers is
most recent
amazing.
Flosstube and looking at her, the section she talks about plans because she shows what her Notions look like. I think the $9, and she even said like she's wondering if she should go buy the one and move everything over because the new one is so
Hers is great.
good, but hers predated that one being available.
Yeah.
But one of the hers showed stitches left on the projects tab, and I don't think Nati's does. And I couldn't figure it out because I need to go back and watch the Nati tutorial again. So I just made an Excel spreadsheet because my brain works in Excel. So I just went and made an Excel spreadsheet real quick because I wanted to see how many stitches I had left on each project, and I was like, and it was totally inspired by watching Cam's most recent.
It was
Flosstube.
her plan section was great, very very informative, and that's all.
Okay.
Yep, that was. I say that's all. It was a lot. It was a lot of studying. I felt like I did my studying this weekend, just playing the Notions videos over and over again because once is not enough. So
that's true. I need to watch that one again.
I feel like I'm very. I took notes and everything. Like I was a good student.
You are. That's why you have like Allison has a master's degree. Allison is a very good at learning things.
Yeah, I love to learn things.
I like to learn things, but I don't like to take notes or take tests or do anything with it.
If I don't take notes, I probably won't remember.
Oh, okay.
So I have to take notes.
Even if I
don't look at it, even if I don't look at my notes, I will remember writing that down. So that helps.
I'm an audio learner, so like I can hear things and remember them. Writing down doesn't really solidify it much more than the original hearing.
That's great, yeah.
Which is good for some things. It's not great for like some topics, which is why I'm better at history than like math.
Yeah, math.
All right, so for me, for Flosstube University, so I want to talk about Cam the Stitcher, so that's perfect because we already did. Great, that Notions was really her plans. Like her plan section isn't exactly what I'm going to do for my plans, but seeing how she organized her plans and stuff was really helpful. So I already was going to do this. Our next Flosstube Extra is going to be my plans video, and I'm going to walk through what my 24 new starts in 2024 are going to be, because I also turned 40 next year, so I'm just going big. And then I'm going to talk about what is going to be on my Whipco board. And then Allison isn't going to do Whipco or isn't doing like a bunch of planned starts past January, so she doesn't need to sit around.
Love organizing, but I don't stick to goal dates or anything like that. So I would rather just wing it.
And she offered to sit here and listen to me just so I had a sounding board. But I've seen her face sometimes when I talk about things in the video and I'm editing. I'm like talking about something where you're clearly like, this sounds insane. I'm like, I don't need.
You can edit out all of those faces I make.
Just put like a blurred face. And she's just like, and you're going to do,
Or I have like a board I put up when I know you're being crazy.
So it's like, I know what I want to do and I know like why I want to do it. And I'm just going to talk to you guys about that by myself. Yeah.
Which is good. That's fine.
So the only other person I wanted to mention in Flosstube University was Karen Combs. Oh. And have you watched any of her videos?
Yeah.
So not her most recent Flosstube, and not the most recent one before that, and not the video for that. So 4 videos ago, but I'll link the specific video I'm talking about in the comments. She has a section about why people like Lakeside Linen so much and what is slightly different about it. And like, and also she kind of shows a lot of the Lakeside Linen colors, because if you are someone who likes a piece of Lakeside Linen and then you find out there's something available on 123 Stitch, it might be a different colorway or something. And it's hard to tell for me what a lot of the colors look like online. So like sometimes I'm just buying like a Lakeside Linen because it is that.
It's hard, yeah.
And I've liked all the pieces I've gotten, but some of them are like a purplish when I think it's going to be like a different whatever. So that video, which I'll link to, was really helpful because she talks about, somebody asked about it, and so she like kind of pulls through some of the colors and stuff, and I think it's kind of towards the beginning too. So if you're somebody who's like why do people like Lakeside Linen, or I like Lakeside Linen a lot, let me learn more about it, or whatever. That was like a really educational, good time. So that's my Flosstube University.
Yeah.
It was haul.
All my haul are the patterns that
Not
are
here yet?
Yeah.
Oh, your bag.
Oh, it's not my haul though. It's a gift.
Well, that's still haul.
Okay. Well, I have an amazing.
And I have the exact same thing, but I didn't bring mine because I didn't need to show it to you.
I'll let you tell them about it.
Okay, so for our birthday sal, for Allison's princess birthday sal. Now, me and my sister and mom got her like a expensive-y pattern kit. So this is a Christmas present. So this is one of the times when it is lucky you have a birthday right at Christmas. Usually, growing up, she didn't like that, but right now it's like, okay, this is your Christmas present. So Jen from Jasmine's Custom Bags, I messaged her and I was like, hey, are you taking custom orders? She's like, I'm not, but like, you know, what's up? Because like we've talked about other bags and stuff. So I was like, I want to make a bag for my sister, but I don't need it till January. But I want to get 2 of the same ones. That's like a Cinderella bag. So she like let me pick out the fabric. So I picked out this like, and there are more Cinderella fabric options than I would have guessed. There were like some fancy, some mature. Like I thought this was like just sweet and cutesy enough without being like too little cutesy. You know what I mean?
It's so cute.
And then I picked out the blue for the pleather, and then I asked for silver hardware.
Oh,
so she made 2.
So
and the way that this is cut, it's like the front panels are identical.
Yeah.
Which is because I was like gonna let you pick the like, and then I was like, wait a minute, like they're literally cut in the same places. So,
okay.
so I don't need it. Like it's not like a real fussy cut, but it is.
It's perfect.
Done to maximize the fabric. But I just love it, and Jen was so generous letting me do a custom order. And getting like the sizing and everything, and to order 2 of them. And then I even messaged her, was like, hey, can I add that cat bag on because I need something for a particular project. So, and when it came in the mail, it was like, you know, the best day. So I was like, I'll just give it to you early because it's Christmas, but you need a place to put all those princess projects. And I didn't quite visualize how much larger this was than my other bags that I have from her, because I kind of, oh, I guess they're the same size.
They're the same size.
Okay.
You have a smaller one though.
Yeah, I have different sizes from her.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell, I have a problem with buying project bags.
This is my first real project bag.
And it's like cool because like you have a good project bag system. You don't need a bunch of project bags. But for it to be special.
It's so special.
And then it's such a nice bag. If you ever don't want to use it as a project bag, you could use it as a real bag.
Absolutely. Oh, what a cute purse would this be?
I really,
messenger bag.
So, Jen, thank you so much.
Thank
love
you.
them.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
I have a little bit of haul, but you guys will be so proud of me. I'm like, I told you guys I was gonna, well, and I cut out a bunch of where I said I was gonna buy less, but I did tell you guys I was gonna buy less, and I did.
Cut that part out.
But I cut out a lot of it. So my haul is like, I have some fabric clubs and then a couple patterns. So this is the Bestitch Me, that was the November, but Bestitch Me comes in almost where it's like the next month. And then Fiberless Semi Fibers comes in a little bit earlier than that. But then Oak Crown Studio comes in at the beginning of the month. So they all kind of come together, but this is November's. And next time I'll have December's Oak Crown.
Okay.
So this is the colored one, and it's called Fall Foliage. And it's really pretty. My piece is like, I kind of love it because depending on which side you're using.
You know what it looks like. House
What?
Divided. OU, OSU. I don't like that OSU has most of it.
It does look like that. Should I do an OU OSU themed piece for Mom and Dad?
You should.
Okay, well, I was going to save it for Halloween next year, but I might need to do that because
you should.
The way that it is in orange and red, that's crazy. I didn't see that because I don't, I'm a Kansas fan. But
that is totally.
Or I could do an OSU piece and then an OU
and then an OU
piece, and
piece.
they match. But I was going to save it for Halloween next year, but that's a better idea. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll save it until something comes up that's just the right.
Yeah. Oh,
thing.
that's so pretty.
Or maybe I'll chart something for them. But their anniversary is next summer, so, and honestly, I wouldn't get something big done before that anyway, so I have time to think about it. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I have a football project on the horizon. If I ever, but it is
game day stitches are fun.
Oh, maybe I'll do this as my game day stitch next fall, because I do tend to take the kids over to my parents' house to watch the games, even though, because like I went to a basketball school, so football is just not. I mean, yes, we're better in football than we used to be, but it's not like we've talked
Much
about
better.
this. Okay, so then this is the neutral from Bestitch Me, and I get my Bestitch Me in 28 count, but I They just emailed to ask the 40 count, so maybe we'll see what happens. She might not have any spaces in her 40 count. It's not a guarantee yet.
Oh. Well, I mean,
this is called macchiato.
If that's what you
It's
want.
a really good neutral. It's a highly modeled neutral, so like I can see a lot of different things looking good on here.
This is highly modeled. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
No plans for it yet, but I'm sure something will come up where it's just perfect. That's the nice thing about stash, because I do have gone to my stash a lot. Except that now that I have 24 starts planned for next year, and most of them have fabric, how many new pieces of fabric do I really need beyond those if I already have fabric pulled through?
Right.
So we'll figure it out. Okay. All right, so then I'm in the Silk Club. So I was in the Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Silk Club. I decided to stop that because I love it, but I can't do everything. So I'm going to keep the Wish Me Silk Club, at least for now, because I do really like it. So these are the ones for November. It's like a nice fall palette.
It's really pretty.
This is almond cider, milk chocolate, sweet moss, and guardian. And I love that yellow. This is like my favorite
really
yellow.
Pretty. It's like almost gold.
Well, the coffee and egg sweater I thought was a yellow. I thought it was like that color yellow, but it's really not. It's a brown that kind of looks yellow when it's. And man, stitching will teach you about how your eye sees color better than anything else, because you'll be looking at something on like by itself and it will look like one thing, and then you put it in a palette and it looks different, and then you put it on the and it's like you don't even realize how much your eyesight is affected by what you're seeing around something.
You know, I've always been afraid of changing colors because of that. Like what if it doesn't look like it's supposed to look once it's on the fabric? Like doing the floss toss is great, but what if it's different? So
these are the variegated. This is an evergreen, goes from like, this is like a perfect Christmas.
It is.
Like green. It's got a little bit of blue. Well, okay, again, I see it as blue, but when you stitch it, it might look like dark green to
dark green.
But it's that's so pretty. And then this looks like candy canes and peppermints, and this one is called plaid.
I like it.
But they're both gorgeous.
I wonder what you're gonna do with that one.
Well, the highly variegateds mostly look really good in monochromatic pieces, but there are more holiday monochromatic pieces than you would think, and it's 25 yards, so you could do anything that needs like 3 skeins of DMC. You could do with that.
It's cool.
I was talking about highly variegated threads yesterday at the Jingle Ball. I was showing somebody was asking like what you do with them, and I showed my long dark sampler. Like this is kind of,
that's my favorite floss that you have.
That medley.
That medley, yeah.
And so I bought some Mo Silk, which I'll talk about in a minute, on her Black Friday sale, and there was one more thing of that, and I didn't recognize that's what it was, and I wish I had bought. Yeah. But I also have 120 yards of it, so it's not like an emergency.
It'll be okay. But it's really pretty.
So this is my Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers fabric of the month. So this is a 28 count French roast. And I did email and ask, and they did confirm. She confirmed that I'm going to switch to 36 count. So I'm going to stock it. But this is such a pretty brown. And since I use that piece of earth, I don't have like a good brown sitting in stash as a fat quarter. I have a fat eighth of another Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers brown. But isn't this just so pretty?
It is. Oh, look how rich that is. Isn't this like almost, it is modeled, but not like.
It would be perfect for like a fancy lady if you want it to look earthy.
Another foresty type.
But it's really pretty. It's like, I was like, I can't be in 3 fabric clubs, but then there's none of the fabric clubs that I want to not get their fabric from, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but switching counts at least for a little while is a stopgap measure so that I can be getting some different things. But I mean, almost anything would look good on this.
I agree. I think that is a great
between
what would you call it, like a stock piece?
Yeah, between this and this, you could do you could pick up so 90% of patterns would go good on one of these.
Yeah. So
it's like, how do you?
That's great.
How do I live without you? Okay. And I was supposed to get one more thing of floss from her, but she didn't send it because the way that I canceled it, I guess it made it confusing as to when. So I'll get one more floss pack from her, and then that will be the end of my floss packs from her, which makes me sad. There's a point at which you have to stop buying fabric and floss. Haven't hit the fabric point, but the floss point, I'm like, ugh, I mean, Okay, so then the rest of my haul is what's in here. Okay, so Jan Holder
Oh, yes.
told me go ahead and get the Eleanor Rigby. We talked about last time how I bought all of the Beatles patterns from Blackbird, but I didn't buy Eleanor Rigby because it was out. But I found other places and I just didn't know because I think it's a cute pattern, but it's a very sad song. Do I want to sit there and think about this song for 60 hours?
Make it mean something else.
I have a lot of specific college memories attached to this song and stuff. Like one time my friend played it at a house party and my friend was like, who plays Eleanor Rigby at a house party? And it was just like, and that was 20 years ago. Okay, this is crazy. It is longer between when I remember listening to the Beatles in college and now than when this song came out and I was born. But I don't feel that old. So I did go ahead and get it.
Age is just a number.
And you don't want to have things travel alone. So I got it from the Crafty Grimalkin. And I also bought the Hawk Run Hollow piece I'm going to start, but I didn't bring it because you guys are going to see it next time. But and then I bought these cute little cross-stitch stickers for my book of days because it was like buy something small to get free shipping. So this was basically free instead of paying for shipping.
Yeah.
But I like the Crafty Grimalkin on Etsy. I can usually, if she has stuff that like sometimes one two stitch will be sold out of and she'll have it. And then I got this pattern this book. Not that I need another prairie schooler in my life, but like it's Nutcrackers.
Oh,
and
so
then
cute.
I saw Sarah from Handmade by Sarah W. got it too and finished. I think she finished this guy.
Nice.
So I was like, I commented on her. I was like, maybe I need to just start mine now that I have it. I don't know if I'm going to commit to starting one, but I am going to start the 2023 Santa soon. So if I finish that, maybe I'll switch to a Nutcracker. But I was like, I
really enjoyed the prayer schoolers I've done.
And then this is my last thing. And this is going to be a new start in January. But I did go ahead and get it. So, Michelle from Mindy Stitchy is doing did an Ink Circles Round Robin and was helping set people up for Ink Circles Round Robins, and now somebody else is helping her group. And so a lot of people are doing them. And Allie from Allie Z's Crafty, who I've mentioned many times here, is asked if anybody wanted to start a round robin with her. And I was like, I do, but I'm already selling with you. Is this like weird if I like also like, it's like am I like now just stalking you? But she was like, oh, I was gonna ask you. And I was like, oh, perfect. Okay, good. I'm not insane. So this is the one I picked out. So it's gonna be Allie, Anna from Anna's Books and Stitches. I will link her. I've subscribed to her Flosstube, but I'm not sure if her Flosstube name and her Instagram name are the same. But I will link her below. And she does a lot of, people know her. And then Maggie from Kitschy Whips. And we're going to sell. And so I know what some of them have picked out, but I don't know what all of them have picked out. The way we're going to do it is we're going to do our quadrant, January through March. And then, so, basically next year, every season, you get a new one.
Oh, okay.
And, every quarter, you get a new one. And so this is the one I picked out. But it is in the pattern. You can see it's got 4 different colors. But instead of doing that, I'm going to do this highly variegated, this is from Mo Silks, but it's actually cotton, called Morning Dew, and it's green to purple. So instead of being gray and purple, it'll be green and purple, and the colors won't be exactly lined up where there are flowers, but that's okay. And I almost bought a cotton hank of this on Black Friday, but then I was like, I don't really want a hank of a variegated cotton. I'll just find something else. And then I did buy some cotton grab bags from her because she had it was $10 for 30 this size of her cotton leftovers from the year. And because I bought a couple different ones, there was one in each of them, and it's just enough to do the pattern with a little bit extra. So it's perfect. It was meant to be. And so I just have to decide what fabric I'm going to do it on. Yeah. And I haven't. I don't.
You haven't chosen the fabric?
Well, I asked them, I was like, I'm picking highly variegated threads. Are you going to want, do people have a preference of, is it more annoying for you to have to line up the two? Because when you do a variegated thread and you do 2 strands, you got to line them up. And that can be kind of annoying, right?
I've never done a variegated.
So what you got to do is just pull the same direction twice. But if things get mixed up a little bit, it can be kind of annoying. And you can't do a loop start, even though you're doing two.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, would you prefer one stranded on a higher count, or would you prefer two stranded on a, or you know what I mean, like would you prefer to do two strands on 28 or 32, or one strand on 36 or 40 if it's variegated? And they all said like they didn't really care, like I do whatever I wanted. But the two strands on 28 or 32 is totally like what they would probably naturally pick themselves. So I have to look for the fabric, but I think I'm gonna do. I have a lot of good Stitch Me fabric that's 28 counts, so I'll probably find something in there. Nice. But I don't you think that's so pretty?
Yes, I do.
This will be my first ink circles, and I'm excited to do 1/4 of 4 different ones, and not just.
That is fun. That's really fun.
So that is all my haul. All right. So one section that we don't obviously do every week, but we thought would be good to add is the Flosstubes that we're like tuning into. So who are the Flosstubes you're watching every day?
Since I'm obsessed with Christmas now, I'm watching Wild Woman Crafts unbox her advent calendar BNS Nice List.
Ooh.
That's really cute. Really cute. I love her her attitude, and she's got this giant Christmas decorations all up. There's a tree behind her, and it's just very festive. It puts me in the mood when I turn her on. So, and then Crafty Gaming Jamie. Sorry. We've been talking for a long time now. So, I'm watching her Flossmas, and she's doing this fun thing where she has an advent calendar, and she put all of her whips on pieces of paper and had her family pick which days to put. And so she doesn't know what she's opening or what she's going to work on until she opens it. Well, then
her own project.
Okay. Her own whips on Advent. And so, but it was kind of funny. She was talking about, she's like, well, I realized that I just gave them a list of names of my project, and they know what they look like. They don't necessarily know what the name of the project is. So she has no idea what's coming because they just picked it by the name of the project. And if that doesn't match, that's not a Christmas thing, then oh well. But that was fun. So I'm enjoying watching her. And then, what's the other one? The New Hampshire Stitcher. She's doing Christmas.
I have her videos saved to watch. I haven't watched it yet.
I think she's doing it like per week instead of daily.
Okay.
Which is cool. They're a little longer and a little more detailed, and I like that.
So I've been watching Leah's Cross Stitch Corner, who we've talked about before. She's unboxing the Caterpillar Cross Stitch Advent box, which is cool, and then the Historical Sampler Company, I think is the name of the other one. And her videos are like 10 minutes long and every day. So that's been really fun. And then Second Wind Stitcher, who I already mentioned, I want to say that she's unboxing the Modern Folk Embroidery. I might be wrong. I think it's the Modern Folk Embroidery Evertote Advent situation that I think so. But I'm not 100% that that's the one she's unboxing.
So you should just go look.
But I am watching it every day, and the first two were really beautiful. Yeah. Well, I guess I won't spoil them if you haven't watched them yet. Yeah. But I'm really enjoying watching them. But I think that's the company she's doing. There's so many advent calendars out there.
There are so many.
It's making me want to buy an advent calendar next year, but not necessarily make videos. Because I think we have a Flossmas idea for next year that we have to start executing in July. So we'll know if we need to buy an advent calendar instead.
I kind of want to.
I do think I want to buy one. I don't know if I want to make a video every day next year.
But I want to participate.
But I do think next year we'll do advent calendars.
Yeah.
So, go check all those guys out. We'll have a special section in the notes under Flossmas to tell you to help you find. We've been talking for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So last week we posted a video on things all Flosstubers say that we thought was really funny, and we totally cracked ourselves up. If you haven't watched it, go check it out.
We had a lot of fun making it.
And we'll probably do a part 2 at some point because people have been saying things we forgot, and I've been noticing things we didn't mention. So it was super fun.
We should definitely do a part 2.
Yeah. and so our next extra, because we do Flosstubes every 2 weeks, so then in the middle we try to put something else out. Our next extra will be my 2024 plans. We are going to do a whip parade at the end of the month. And so we'll do my plans, another Flosstube, then a whip parade, then another Flosstube, and then it'll be 2024. So if you're going to join the Princess Birthday Sal and you don't know about it, go watch that video. Otherwise, if you are going to do it, feel free to let us know and tag us and tell us what you're working on for that. And Yeah, that's all. So
That's it.
thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.